I haven't done a personal story in a while, so I thought I would share this experience I had when I took Ambien at school. I actually took Ambien 2 different times at school. I guess I didn't learn from the first time. I'll go quickly over the first experience because I barely remember anything from that day. The Ambien I took was supplied from my friend's mom's boyfriend. This was back in 2015 when we were just looking for anything to get us high. I would drink straight up cough syrup. Shit was nasty. Anyway, we found bupropion and I looked it up and saw that it didn't really do anything, so I didn't take it. I'm really glad my 15-year-old self decided not to. Then, we found a pill bottle that said Zolpidem on it, but I knew what it was at the time, so we were pretty stoked to take it. My friend took it that night. I don't know why I didn't, but he let me have a couple for the road. This is when I took the Ambien at school. He said I definitely should not take it there because I'd be really fucked up. I didn't listen, of course, and I took it anyway. If I remember clearly, I took it after my lunch, so at least it wasn't the whole day. My friends told me that during my study hall I was doing weird shit, but most of the crazy stuff they told me I did wasn't true. This one dude had me believing I punched a guy in the face. I don't know why I actually thought that was true, but it wasn't. I wish I could remember what happened during that study hall. What I do remember is going to math class, my last class of the day, and I cringe about this now. My friend opened up the window in the class because it was hot. When he opened it, I just did a loud, "Oh!" like I just came or something. My friend later told me that it was super loud. Luckily, that was before the class started, so not everyone was in there yet. The last thing I remember from that day was laying my head down and falling asleep in class. The teacher was like, "Do you need to go to the nurse?" I knew she knew I was fucked up, even in my state. Of course I couldn't really talk, so I just put the okay symbol up as in saying I was okay to stay in class. My friend kept pulling on my shirt and whispering in my ear that, "Go to the fucking nurse." I never did go to the nurse, but I somehow made it through the day and did not get in trouble. Taking drugs in school can be super fun, but you just have to be careful what you take and how much. That was just on one pill of Ambien, but I believe it was 10 milligrams. I have no idea how old they were too. It looked like they were in the bottle for years, and in that pill bottle there was weed and the Ambien was under that. I was so fucked up, but that didn't stop me from wanting to get more Ambien. When I would get high in school, my main drug of choice was DXM. I think it was the easiest to handle and it made the day so much fun. I still can't forget when I took 3 Mucinex before school. When I was walking through the hallway to my next class, I was listening to Resonance by Home. I think I've told this story in one of my podcasts before. If you know this song, you know it's very trippy and just an awesome song. Well, I had both of my earbuds in and I had the song on full blast. As I was walking, it felt like I was the only person in existence in the world, and everyone passing by weren't even rendered into the simulation I was in. I started smiling because that was one of my favorite times ever being high on DXM. If you didn't know, DXM makes music sound even better than it is sober. It's probably the best drug for that, MDMA too, but DXM is a lot more accessible. So yeah, that day was pretty awesome. The only bad thing about it was that it made time go by so slowly. I remember in English class we were reading a book and it felt like each page took 30 minutes, but only 2 actual minutes went by. Alright, enough with that segment. Let's move on to my second experience on Ambien at school. How did I get Ambien this time, you may be asking? Well, this girl I was talking to at my job had some, and I asked if I could cop a couple. They were 12 milligrams each, so I knew that I'd be fucked. I didn't think I planned on doing it at school again, but I did. This time I took it before school started, and boy was I fucked the whole day. I can only tell you the stuff that I remember, so I can't give you the spill of the whole day. I was a pretty active student at school. I did improv, was in a beauty pageant for men, yes, you heard that right, and did the announcements. The announcements were done every day and they projected the video to every class in school. It was pre-recorded in one of my classes. I was a favorite around the school. The little freshmen looked up to me and always dapped me up. It was pretty funny, but that's not the point. We read from a teleprompter to do the announcements and it moves at a pretty decent speed. I still have no idea how I did this, but I read every single word just fine. I remember as I was reading it, it just looked like scribbles, but somehow I read it. I probably shouldn't have done the announcements that day, but I guess I'm just a beast. That could have gone really bad. I'm just glad nothing happened while reading. I could have definitely fucked that shit up really bad. The next thing I remember is being in English class, the same one where it went by so slowly on DXM. I was sitting next to my friend at the time and I kept looking at his face and just said, Dude, you look like a reindeer. Over and over again. He looked very annoyed, but I think I would be too if someone called me a reindeer. I shit you not though, like his face morphed into one. I don't know if I hallucinated him to be a reindeer, or like I said before, his face morphing into one. It's really weird, but just know that he turned into a reindeer. Not Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, but the other ones who have a brown nose. The ones that aren't as special. Either way, that was wild. I also apologize, bro, if you're somehow listening out there. The last thing I remember from that day was passing out during lunch. You know how school lunchrooms are. They are extremely loud. I guess I blocked out the noise and got knocked out. Now, I don't know if this was before or after I passed out, but I remember looking up where you'd get the food. On the walls, I saw these dragons making an infinity symbol just circling around each other while on fire. I thought that was really cool. I kept telling the people at my lunch table that I was seeing dragons, and they were just like, what the fuck? Because the people at my lunch table were kind of straight edge and didn't really do drugs, so they probably thought I was a junkie the more that I think about it. I got high at school a lot. I actually brought alcohol to school one time too, I think in my sophomore year, and everybody started taking a sip out of the drink I had. I put it in a water bottle, and I'm like, all right, this is all gonna be for me. And then people were like, ooh, you have alcohol? Let me see that. And they took a sip of it, and 10 people took a sip, and I didn't have that much left. I think I had half a water bottle left, and I was so pissed because I stole the alcohol from, or I didn't steal it. I got it from another night, and I was saving it for myself. But I guess it's probably good I didn't get drunk at school, because that would have been a bad idea. I'd be like Jeffrey Dahmer, who just drinks it in the class. But the first drug I ever did at school was Lyrica, and it was actually the first time I ever got high on anything. So Lyrica was the first ever drug I did. I don't really remember anything from that day either. I just remember I could barely walk sometimes, and I had to hold onto the wall to stand up. Oh my god. Alright, enough with me rambling about that. So for the Ambien at school, that's about all I can remember from that day. Ambien is a drug that can really give you memory loss. It also can cause hallucinations too, personal experience. My friend said when he took it, the ceiling was swirling around. When he would watch the ceiling, he would have the song Insane by Flume playing. He said it always felt orgasmic. If you don't know that song, it's pretty fucking good, just like The Resonance by Home. Go listen to both of those songs if you haven't already. Or if you have, go listen to them again. If you're looking to try Ambien, please be careful. This drug is not to be disrespected. A lot of bad things can happen to you. I'm sure drinking on it would be completely horrible. I'm lucky to not have gotten in trouble or done something to where I got hurt really bad. I've read way too many Ambien horror stories to know that you need to be cautious. You never know what's going to happen to you. Just because everything ended up okay for me does not mean it will for you. I will leave it at that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new. I read trip reports that are strictly bad trips, so check out my other videos where some of them can get completely horrifying. This one wasn't bad per se, but it could have been a lot worse. Stay safe out there, my trip seekers, and enjoy the rest of your day.